Greetings, Tato here. Welcome to the first part of my Beyond the SYNTHS series. I'm just gonna kind of like to share some things that are going on, some thoughts, some flow, been feeling, and just needing to get out there and hopefully connect with some people. Some of the things that I'm going to talk about might be a little bit uncomfortable for others, and that's okay. We need to be comfortable with the uncomfortable sometimes. That's kind of the segue of what I want to start this off. Is today is actually a celebration. Actually, the whole month of September, really, but particularly on the 16th is my 9-year sober anniversary. I say sober because, to be honest, I think as a collective society we need to acknowledge there's nothing wrong with upliftment, okay? We're all looking to feel high in some way, shape, or form, right? Like that's why we do the things we love doing, because they give us a feeling of being loving and feeling good. The problem is when we seek external forms of trying to achieve that feeling of being uplifted. I call it upliftment. I don't call it being high, because there's a very negative connotation that comes with that. But we're all seeking to feel natural upliftment. And a major part of my journey for many years now has always been seeking naturality. How can we tune into what we have to work with without having to rely on a whole lot of things outside of us, right? And my journey kind of starts in a couple parts. Going back to 2015, I was at a major festival that takes place in the fall, and just don't need to mention any names. I'm sure if you know, you know. But it was a magical experience, but it was also a major awakening for me, because at that time, I'm going to be straight up, I was dealing with a lot of substance and alcohol abuse issues. As an artist, it's easy for us to get caught up in misusing these elements as a form of inspiration, a form of connection, whatever they start out to be that might sort of be fun and positive in the beginning, but eventually turns out to be problematic in the ways that it detaches you away from that original focus of what you want to do. And I'm not speaking on behalf of everybody, this is just me sharing my own journey, but that was where I was at. I realized I went to this festival and it was awesome. I was having a great time. I was with awesome friends, but I was also seeing other artists there facilitating and doing their thing. And it got me into my mind. I was like, man, this is what I want to be doing. This is where I want to be. I don't need to be stumbling around a festival and hurting myself, essentially, right? Just suppressing my ability to actually rise above that experience and become more than that, which is, I think, what we're all kind of seeking, really, right? Aren't you seeking more than poisoning yourself and feeling like Again, this is not coming as a form of judgment. I'm not criticizing anybody. We're all on different levels, different paths. I'm just sharing my own. So here I was at this festival, noticing artists doing their thing and thinking to myself, I'm like, this is where I want to be. This is what I want to be doing. But all my focus seems to be going more like I'm consuming the experience than being the experience, I guess. I don't know if that makes any sense to anyone. But anyways, so I realized that the alcohol and the drugs were becoming a problem in my life. It was detaching me away from my original pursuit of sharing my art and my music. So that was great. I had that first awakening. Festival was over, life moved on. Pretty much a year later, I didn't really make a whole lot of changes after that. Originally, I kind of continued on my path of doing what I was doing. And I went to, again, about a year later in September 2016, I went to another festival and I experienced a mild OD. I don't know if you can call an OD mild or not. It was basically, it wasn't the first time that I was in a position where I felt really just sick and not safe and not in a good space at all. But it was the last time, and after that that was game over. So September 2016, I'm like, I'm done with putting anything in my body that doesn't come directly from natural source, from the ground. It isn't serving a positive purpose in my life, and that was alcohol was top of the list. A bit of my personal experience with alcohol, just for context. I myself have grown up seeing alcohol abuse. I have personal family connections to a lot of pain associated directly with alcohol consumption. And I've just straight up never seen anything positive come from any of it. It made me mad. It made me angry. And that's been an important tool in my life. Anger is an important tool when we use it as a point of recognition where this is something that was causing harm to me, causing harm in just, it causes harm, right? So I get mad at those things and I let them go. And to be honest, just a little pro tip, I've done that with so many elements in my life that were causing harm, is get mad at things that cause you harm. You know what I mean? Anybody that's speaking negative, anybody, like, anyways, I'm going to go off into a whole other thing now. So that's where I was. I noticed that this was causing me harm and I let it go. I let drugs go. I let the alcohol go. And that was essentially bringing me into why we initially started Lunar Bliss. And it wasn't called Lunar Bliss at the time. It was, our first event was called Zen Out. It happened at a magical, beautiful restaurant here in town called Zen's Pizzeria, shout out. We hosted an event there, and our whole idea was we love art, we love music, we love community. Now how can we experience that without having to poison ourselves? A ripple effect of negative causes in so many different ways, shapes, and forms, right? Started our journey, and basically that's where I am today, 9 years without any toxic influence of drugs and alcohol in my life. It's been a beautiful blessing, but at the same time, just as much of a challenge, because the further I go, the more I realize how uncomfortable that can tend to make people feel when you choose to not simply put a poison in your body. That makes people really uncomfortable. And the reason why that makes people so uncomfortable is because the conditioning runs so deep. Like, it's everywhere you look, it's everywhere you turn. Every time you turn on a screen, there's advertisements, there's, it's in variety stores, gas stations, here, there, everywhere. That, to be honest, pisses me off. Like, it's always pissed me off. I let it go. That strength seems so natural to me, but becomes very offensive to some others, because, and I fully get there's a lot of complicated ties when it comes to alcohol industry, and especially being an artist. We play in bars, we play in clubs. There's a lot of money being exchanged through alcohol. People feel it's their safety blanket, their binky, their whatever they want to call it, that makes them more social, more relaxed, more this, more that. Me, myself, I'm not having any of that. And I'm no longer feeling shame for not having any of that, because I have been feeling very cut off and isolated and estranged and ostracized and whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? When somebody stands up for values beyond what we are generally conditioned towards in society, then it's a hot topic. It's a sensitive issue. So anyways, I'm not looking to cause any uncomfortable feelings in anybody. I'm more or less just kind of trying to connect with those who are also on this journey and feeling that call, and know that you're not alone. And there's so much power in letting go of all thresholds of negative stress. That's really what it boils down to. Is something in negative stress in your life, it's time to let it go, and there's nothing wrong with that. And it doesn't mean that you don't still hold love and well wishes for everything. It's just, thank you for being here and listening to my soul speak. It's not easy, I speak, my comfortable expression is through music, and it'd be a clear channel of communication. And until we remove fog from our minds, there's no way to possibly receive the medicine that needs to be felt through artistic creation. And I just see it rippling out in so many ways, shapes, and forms. Yeah, you are so much more than this. We are so much more than this, and it's okay to rise up. Rise up, spiritual warriors. All these things that we don't need, it's okay to let them go, and that's where the power comes into play. It's not necessarily fighting things that we can't control. It's just making that simple, peaceful decision within ourselves to let them go and to inspire other people to know that it's okay to let them go. And through our collective realizations that we are so much more, we deserve so much better, this is where positive change comes in. This is where creative solutions come. Side note, this is why controllers fear creative community, because artists are the answer. And it's time for us to step up and start using our true, natural, authentic voices to help people remember it's all within you. You are powerful. You are divine. Excuse my language, but fuck anything or anyone that tells you differently. Okay? Just sending out peace and love. And it's okay to turn things off and tune into your heart, because your heart knows. Nature knows. Hug a tree. Speak to nature. Put your bare feet on the ground. And we love you. All the love from Studio Shim. Till next time.